Hey, thank you for tuning in. These are podcasts from Playa del Carmen, Mexico during lockdown in the time of COVID-19. Hey guys, podcast diaries, lockdown day uh, 8. Wow, I'm getting somewhere, ain't I? Day 8. I still have to go till May 31 and then, oh, I guess there's not going to be an extension. I'm not sure yet, but the curve is not flattened. The curve is going down actually. So I think Mexico conquered coronavirus, right? Well, they should because they're the producers of Corona beer, so they should have some experience. Anyway, sick joke. Today I wanted to talk about digital nomad life. A few podcasts ago, I challenged you to ask questions. I like to answer questions. I do that as a volunteer on some websites on the internet, and I get a lot of questions about digital nomad life. I must say, there was a long time I hesitated to use the hashtag digital nomad in my social media because I saw this like the scene that was created by the first nomads, like, oh, look at us all being vagabondish, living on the beach with our laptop, working only like 2 3 hours a day, and we live this magnificent life. Look at this Airbnb, look at this luxurious hotel, only to find out years later that that was all fake. They share the Airbnb with 20 people, otherwise they cannot afford it. They don't work 2 to 4 hours, but they slave like 8 hours a day, um, working their ass off on small, tiny projects that only give them a few dollars. And if they cannot find roommates for a luxurious Airbnb, they rent a broom closet in a hostel and even share that with a few people to minimize the cost, eating only noodle soup. Now, that's the other extreme, of course. It's not exactly like that, but it's just to show you how fake a world can be and how far away from reality, because there are actually nomads that don't make it out there. And there's also nomads that still have a home and a home address, and whenever shit happens, they return home. I don't think they're nomads, they're travelers with a notebook. And then there's all the happy kids with a backpack and a laptop. They call themselves digital nomads. They're not nomads, they're happy kids with a backpack traveling, and they have a laptop. And some of them maybe work online, but still. Then there's the nomads with a regular job that have to work 8 hours because their boss wants them to work 8 hours. I don't think they're nomads, not digital nomads, they are remote workers. Because most of them stay in one place, otherwise, they don't have reliable internet and they cannot afford to be not connected to the company server to work. Um, and digital nomadism involves a lot of travel. They just cannot find the balance to do that. So I know a guy in the Philippines. He lives in the same house. He even had internet line brought to his house, so he had more reliable, faster internet. And he called himself a digital nomad. And I thought, fuck you, you're not a digital nomad. You live here already 3 years in the same house. Every morning, 8 o'clock, you have to be online, otherwise your boss gets pissed. Then a shitload of work is waiting for you, and you can only log out at 5. Then you're not a digital nomad. You're a remote worker, which is fancy, but it's not a digital nomad. I even am very reluctant to call myself a digital nomad because I think for a real nomad, I stay too long in places like this place. I've been here for a year. I think I'm more of an immigrant or an expat than I am a digital nomad. I will be once I get the motorcycle and I start a road trip. Then I will use the hashtag riding nomad. But then I won't have a home anymore. There won't be a place to return to. So then I'm a nomad. And I work online, so I can call myself a digital nomad. About that working online, also, a lot of people ask me, what kind of job should I get to work only like 2-3 hours a day? And then I think, well, if you can't figure that out by yourself, maybe you should not start a digital nomad lifestyle. And also people that ask me, can I find a sponsor and become a digital nomad? Nope. If you need a sponsor to become a nomad, you don't have it in you. I think the biggest skills a digital nomad should have, besides the ability of working online and making enough money to travel, is empowerment, self-empowerment, solution-focused attitudes, and a sense of realism. And so with empowerment, I mean that you're able to do your own research, find your own answers. With solution focused, I mean that whenever shit happens, you solve it and you don't go back home or cling to other nomads to help you out. If you can't find work, you have to be creative to work around the problem, to find a new project. And I think if you lack any of those, you should really not consider becoming a digital nomad. I've seen nomads in such shitty circumstances and conditions that I thought, whatever gotten into you that you like this lifestyle or that you thought you were going to make it out here. Nomad life involves plane tickets, visa applications, bending the rules of your visa applications because you're not allowed to work in a country. It involves taxes. It involves uh, a money transfer from one country to another. It health insurance. There's so much more than having a backpack, a laptop, and one plane ticket and a desire to work from Thailand to be a digital nomad. Is much more to it than just that. Now, if you do some research and you cannot find the real answers and you do want to talk about digital nomad life, I offer a unique opportunity on my website. You can book a chat session with me. We can do video chat, iMessage, WhatsApp, you name it. You pay upfront. I contact you. We set a time and date, and we talk about my lifestyle. You get to ask me any questions you have, and I will answer them. Okay, that was my talk for today about digital nomadism. I'll be back tomorrow with another podcast from the Lockdown Diaries in Playa del Carmen. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.